Alright guys, so the first step in growing a silver maple tree from seed is going to be to correctly identify and collect silver maple seeds. So as I know right here, this is a massive silver maple that is actually in my backyard, but it's pretty easy to identify just because of the bark pattern. Silver maples have a very shaggy, almost peels back kind of bark. Very easy to identify, and also it has that very typical looking maple leaf. So another key characteristic of the silver maple tree is its underside of the leaves. So the leaves underneath are this whitish silvery color, and that's where the tree actually gets its name, is because when it blows and you look at the leaves, you can see this silvery kind of reflection from the underside of the leaves, and it's pretty beautiful. So other than that, key characteristics of the silver maple are it having big multiple trunks. So of course there's this main massive bottom trunk, but then we see multiple huge trunks. We got 5 of them right here. They're really big, they stand out, and then of course it branches off as you get farther up the tree. Now this is a pretty unique characteristic of silver maple. Most of them you see do grow like this, so it is quite beautiful to see the 5 big trunks. And also we know this is a maple tree because it is dropping all of its helicopters in the springtime. Now right now it is late April, so this tree is about to be done dropping all of its helicopters, but it has been dropping its helicopters for around 3 weeks now. So springtime is when you have to collect seeds for maple trees. I believe that is all the species. So that is important to keep in mind. If you do want to grow maple trees, definitely make sure to go out and collect in early spring, early to mid-spring. And as we can see, the ground is just littered with helicopters. I mean, these bigger silver maples, maples in general, they drop hundreds of thousands of the seeds. So what we're going to do is go ahead and collect, a handful of the seeds. I got an unlimited supply. And then we're going to move on to the next step, which is going to be to husk the seeds, get out that outer shell, and then work on planting them. So guys, now that we have collected our silver maple seeds, which are still in the little helicopter case, we're going to move on to the next step, which is taking out this outer, more helicopter area, this like husk, and then we're going to get to just the seed. Now this step is not mandatory in growing silver maple and many other species of maple, but it does help. Just like any tree seed that has a shell on it, such as an avocado pit or a black walnut, when you take out that outer shell, it speeds up the growth process and the germination, and it helps, have a higher success rate, even though it is not mandatory. So what we're going to go ahead and do is just simply crack this, and when these are dry, guys, this comes off extremely easily. It's not very hard at all, and it should just crack right open. Once we take that out, we do get just the maple seed. Now I do apologize, my hands are really dirty. I did just mess with a bunch of potting soil. So again, what I'm going to do is just go through, peel these off, crack them, give it a little twist. Try not to damage my seed, and then the seed should just come right on out. So then what I'm going to do is take those seeds and pot them and plant them. But guys, when you are taking apart your helicopters, you're going to come across seeds that look like this, which are dried, kind of cracked looking, especially this one. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but it's pretty cracked and divoted. Not looking that good. You're not going to want to take the time and effort to try and grow that specific kind of seed. You want your seeds to look more like rounded, green, healthy, more fresh. And again, a word of advice when collecting your helicopters, guys, is go for the ones that have a little bit of green still in them, that look at the absolute freshest. So these ones, they must have dropped off the tree a little bit sooner than, say, some older looking ones that are more dry, black. That's a good tip in having, better selection of seeds. So guys, now that we have gone through the process of dehusking and getting rid of that helicopter part of our silver maple seeds, we're going to move on to the next step, which is simply going to be to pot these. Now I always like to start out my seeds in small pots. So I got these small pots, I think it's for $200 for $50 off eBay. They're brand new. Again, you can use any kind of pot, guys. It doesn't have to be super small. That's just my personal preference. But you can reuse, old pots. Like this is an old, gardening pot for some kind of herb. I always recommend keeping all of your old pots, whether it be from flowers, large or small, keeping them and reusing them for any kind of project you may need. An example would be like this. So what I go ahead and do, guys, is I take my seed and I place it in my pot, and I place it on its side. Now some people will tell you, the top and bottom, make sure you do this, that. I always find that placing it on its side works best. The tree knows, which way to root. It's pretty good at knowing. And so I just simply place it on its side. Again, take my seed, drop it in like so, and again, I dig it down probably 1/4 of an inch to just a 1/2 inch. It really doesn't have to be that deep in the soil. So after I go ahead and pot all of my silver maple seeds, what I'm actually going to do is give these guys a nice watering, a good soak, as you always should when planting a seed. And then after doing that, what I'm going to do is take these and put them inside and put them underneath my grow lights. Now again, if you don't have grow lights at home, that is not a problem. You can simply put these in a windowsill or even leave them outside if you wanted to. What's important is you remember to give these guys a lot of water, because they're definitely going to need more moisture being a young seed, and so they can grow and root, correctly and have the best results. Watering is very important. Not overwatering, but just making sure they have a lot of water. So again, you can put them in a windowsill, leave them outside, just make sure you monitor your seeds, and you should see them rooting and sprouting within, I'd say, a week to a week and a half at the latest. Now where I live, these silver maples grow like weeds, and they usually sprout and grow leaves and stems all within the span of a couple days. Usually it's like a day and a half to 2 days I'll start seeing sprouts from seeds. So again, that can vary, depending on your ad and your temperatures and all that stuff, but I'd say a week you definitely should be seeing it sprout, a week and a half at the latest. If not, then it's possible that seed didn't make it was a dud. You got to always factor in unexpected consequences and unexpected variables that you can't control. Even if a seed looks good, sometimes it is still bad, so it's just unfortunately how it is sometimes. So again, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this clip. In the next clip, I will show you guys what it looks like after it has rooted and started to sprout a young silver maple tree. Alright, so it's been around 5 days since we planted our silver maple seeds, and as you guys can see right here, they're looking absolutely phenomenal, very healthy sprouts, leaves are starting to form, and this is exactly what you would want to be seeing, guys, from when you plant your maple seeds, your silver maple seeds, is you want to see some, some stems forming, the leaves starting to grow, and nice little young sprouts. I would say pretty early on. Maple, the species of maples actually sprout and root really quickly, the seeds do, unlike oaks, which like to shoot down one big long root first, and then they work on the actual sprout. So maples do root and sprout pretty quickly, so you definitely should be seeing these pretty soon and early on. I did actually see these start poking up and the dirt moving within the first 3 days, and this, again, 2 days later, and it already has a sprout. So that's just an update clip, guys, and I will catch you in the next one, which is going to be the full sapling after around 2 weeks. So it's been around a week and a half, and here are our silver maple saplings. They're looking absolutely phenomenal, and this is what you should be seeing when you get around a week and a half to 2 weeks in. I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but these are looking super healthy, great. We got our second set of leaves coming in on all 4 of our saplings. So overall, this is what you should be seeing, guys, after a week and a half to 2 weeks. So that's gonna conclude today's video on how to grow silver maple trees from seed. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I wish you guys the best of luck in your own trial with growing silver maple trees. I mean, they're really not too difficult. They grow like weeds, like I said. So again, guys, that's gonna be it for today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.